So today I want to talk about friendships. I'm very weird about friendships, and I kind of have been my whole life. And I've been thinking about it recently. I think there are a lot of various forms or dynamics of friendships out in the world, and I kind of want to dive in and talk about some of those different types of friendships today. First off, I think you can define a type of person into two groups basically. Someone with a lot of friends and someone with a small group of friends. Personally, I've always been a small group type of guy. I my whole life have had maybe one or two best friends max, and the rest of the people in my life are kind of like acquaintances. One of my very best friends today has been the same person since I was in preschool. And this person has kind of grown up with me, and we lost touch probably from like middle school through high school, reconnected in college, and to this day, like it's like nothing ever happened. We go 3 to 6 months at a time without even not seeing each other, not talking to each other sometimes, and then when we do get together, it's like nothing ever happened. It's like we just catch up and we can do that for hours on end. And that's kind of how I view one of my very best friends. For me, I don't need that constant communication with someone. And I personally don't really think I'm the best friend in that scenario when I don't really prioritize if someone's reaching out to me or something via text, like I'll forget about a text super easily, and that can really upset a lot of people. So I think my best friends have learned like just give me some time and a little bit of space and I'll be there and I'll be able to talk to you. And when things get busy, like I need to prioritize things going on in my life. But at the end of the day, yes, friends are very important to me, but I just have a small amount of them. At the same time, there are some people I know who have so many friends and their social lives are insane. The friend I was just referencing has a lot of friends. I don't think I'm his best friend, but that's okay with me. This type of person is the most social person, and he's got tons of friends. But for me, like, it's not about a social atmosphere that I really enjoy, and that's not what I want to do when I'm hanging out with a friend. It's more of like I want to sit back, relax, watch a game. So I'm happy that he's able to have so many other friends that he can do these things with. For me, both me and my partner are very big homebodies. So I think our friend groups kind of represent that, where we are really focused on, okay, let's see a friend for maybe a couple hours. And after that, we are just, our social batteries are just depleted. But so as I've grown older, I've kind of realized there are many differences in friendships. One major difference is like colleagues versus friends as well. Do I define a lot of my colleagues as friends? No, I don't. Would I hang out with them outside of work? Sure. Is it going to probably be awkward at first? Yes. That's why I don't define them as a friend. I wouldn't automatically feel comfortable with them, which is why I wouldn't define them, a lot of them, as friends. I saw something recently that was like, during the time in my life, like I'm spending 90% of my day strictly with colleagues, and I will until I'm 50 years old, right? So I'm spending a large time of my life right now with a group of people that I see on a daily basis. I know what's going on in their lives, but in my mind, that doesn't mean I necessarily need to call them a friend, because there is that kind of still awkward work relationship, especially because I've been in situations where can become close to someone and then all of a sudden I'm labeled as their manager. And that's kind of weird. There's just another weird dynamic in there. So when it comes to like colleagues as friends, I take a step back in that sense and kind of definitely put up a barrier as to how much I'm really opening up to someone and letting that friend barrier down, which is another reason why I really only have one or two close friends right now. And that's just kind of the way I like it. But people who have a lot of friends, yeah, I don't know. It's very odd to me if that fills you up socially, that's great. But for me, it just doesn't do it. How I can like go into this further, I guess, is social in the sense of there are a lot of people who I went to college with, right? We were either in the same frat, had uh, similar classes together, would see each other at parties or bars or whatever. Just because I follow them on Instagram, I wouldn't label them as a friend for some reason. It's just because I guess if that awkward barrier of if I were to have a conversation with this person right now exists, um, and what would I even talk about, then I don't label them as a friend. I don't know. I think I'm kind of weird in that sense. I also don't think I have fun a lot. Like if someone asks, "Hey, did you have fun?" I'm like, "No, probably not." Like let me think about it. But I haven't had like when someone's like, "Oh, did you have a good time?" Sure. Like it was okay. Did I have fun? No, I probably didn't have fun. But it's whatever. Anyways, so yeah, talking about social, I find it so interesting sometimes when I'm like just on Instagram and someone puts me in their close friends and I haven't talked to this person in like 2 years. But I guess that's the difference between a person with a lot of friends and a person with a small amount of friends. I would be very selective over that close friends story group. Whereas some people I feel like are just extremely open with it, and it kind of drives me a little bit insane because how can you it's called close friends for a reason. There's no way you're labeling me as a close friend in my opinion. So it just bothers me. I don't know. I guess it shouldn't matter, but it's odd, I think. One of my favorite things is a low maintenance friend. I think I am a low maintenance friend. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, I could go months without talking to you. And if you are a close friend, when I do see you, it's great. I'll hang out with you for a couple hours, and that's kind of it. We go on our ways, catch up maybe for the next few days. And then, yeah, a few weeks go by and start the conversation over again. I love a good low maintenance friend. Somebody you don't really have to check in on all the time. You know they're doing all right. If they need you, they'll reach out to you. If they see something funny, they want to bring up a story, they have a reel for you, they'll reach out to you. But it's not this necessary, I need a conversation every week type of friend. I need to keep the conversation going. If I feel comfortable kind of ending a conversation, I know they will too. And it can just end. And that's literally what I like. Yeah, big fan of the low maintenance friend compared to someone who is a high maintenance friend who needs that constant interaction, that constant update of what's going on. It's just draining to me. I don't like a high maintenance friend. I don't need to see what you're doing on Instagram every day. It's not interesting enough for me. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're at another bar or concert or whatever you're doing that you should probably have your phone put away. But anyways, yeah, low maintenance friend is the way to do it. Another topic on friends is a forced friend. As you get older, you get put into more forced friend scenarios, I think, especially if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, your partner obviously has their own life. They have their own social realm that they're in. And a lot of times, you being the partner, you are brought into their social realm. And you are often put in situations where you are having to make a forced friendship because you do it on behalf of your partner. This is where I really struggle. I really struggle with the forced friendship because I think people can just see that like I'm not interested. I'll try. I really will. I'll try to get to know you, but uh, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is my max. If you are not the personality that meshes well with me and I'm actively trying, it's not it's a forced friendship. I'll look for similar interests. I'll look for uh, sports is a big go-to for me. It's one of the first conversation topics. Sports and work. What do you do on a daily basis? That's really my go-to for a forced friendship. And I'm not the best at small talk, so I will try to not put the conversation on me at all. It's like I am almost, I hope it doesn't come off like this, but I'm almost quizzing the person and being like, let me learn everything about you in 20 minutes. And if it's not there, it's not there. But, anyways, forced friendships are a struggle to deal with because a lot of times they're not going away anytime soon. And it's unfortunate for your partner in your relationship sometimes too, but especially if uh, let's say you're in a new city, you're in a new part of your life, you're in a new work atmosphere, and you're trying to make new friends. You can't blow people off at first either. And a lot of times, if you like, you're like, oh, like yeah, let's test out a friendship here. Let's go to dinner or something. Let's go get some drinks. And the day comes, and you want to back out, but you can't because you know this is your one and only opportunity to get a chance to know these people because if you blow them off, they're probably not going to invite you out again. Um, which has happened a couple times to me actually, where I've turned people down a couple times and then you just stop getting the invite, which looking back at it is like, wow, that's nice. Like I'm glad that I kind of don't get the invite, but at the same time, it's like what friendships could I have missed out on? But is it really worth it? Anyways, I'm a 1-2 friendship type of guy, so one other thing you get to kind of experience when you get older is siblings as friends. So this is kind of an interesting one. I have a sister who's 3 years older than me, and then I have a brother who's 10 years younger than me. So there's a pretty big gap there between us. But so for me and my sister, most of our lives, weren't big fans of each other until we got about to high school and then became a little bit more friendly. But now she's got a kid, for example. She has a husband. I have a brother-in-law. And you're kind of put in situations sometimes where it's like, hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's go to this event. Let's go to a show. And you become the friend to your sibling, which is kind of odd. It's kind of odd because you're putting your entire childhood past behind you where this person either tormented you or completely hated you. Um, I guess I tormented her and she just hated me. But yeah, so that's kind of an odd dynamic too. But yeah, friends or siblings becoming friends as you get older is just odd. I guess it's nice, but it's odd. I think it's a forced friendship in a sense sometimes. There are sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not interested, but I have to go to the birthday party because it's you. It's your birthday. So yeah, so there are many different types of friendships, and I do think it kind of defines who you are as a person. I think if you are a super social person, labeling yourself as, oh, I have so many friends, that's great, but I'm I have to question how many deep relationships are you really getting to have. For me, it's I really get to open up to a small handful of people. Everyone else is a completely different, like there's a mask on that I'm trying to be polite, I guess. But there isn't, it's not the real let's be funny, let's be kind of completely open me. But do people with a lot of friends just let their guard down? For me, like I said, I've had this friend my whole life, and there's a barrier of trust that is built between us. So um, I can't imagine someone living their life with so many friends and just letting their guard down so easily. I think it's something I do need to work on though, is trying to have or trying to be open, I guess, to having more friends or being open to the idea of establishing new friendships. One thing I've kind of noticed is in things that I'm reading or even in just general life is like in a work environment, you can be like the hardest working person, and when a promotion comes, there's a possibility you will get passed on that promotion because you are not the most social. I don't think the hardest working or the best performing person always gets the spot. It's usually the person who does a good job, but is way more social and is way more dynamic in the office space or in the workplace. that gets the role. So for me, it's like I have to really step out of that comfort zone, try to be more friendlier, which is definitely definitely difficult for me to do. But yeah, it's just something, if I really want to progress, it's establishing connections in a space where I just have to learn to be more open. Networking is a pain in the ass. I hate it with a passion, but that is basically like a speed dating for testing out friendships. It's what do you do? What are your interests? How can we collaborate in some sense maybe? What can you get from me and what can I get from you? Basically, that's what networking is. And so if I'm not open enough to even establish that rapport with someone, it's not going to happen for me. So yeah, it's a constant battle of trying to be social and really figuring out who is a friend and what social settings I really want to dive into, because I don't want to put my time into something that isn't going to pan out. And I think that's a big thing. Like I'm thinking, oh, like this isn't going to go anywhere, which I really don't know if that's the case or not. So I think I need to try to be more open, learn as much as I can. I'm reading a lot about small talk right now, and so I'll probably do another podcast sometime soon about what I'm learning and some tips and tricks on how to like conversate appropriately, because it's something that I really struggle with, and I think it turns a lot of people off when I just sit there and look completely unamused by what they're saying. But I'm trying. I hope people know that. So yeah, so friendships are interesting. Kind of curious to see how other people view friendships. I don't give up that title loosely. If I label you as a friend, then you are a good friend. And there are people who have crossed different boundaries within these like colleagues, friend zones, and yeah, so I really have been letting more people in, which is really proven to help me a lot, not only in my work career, but also in my social space, and definitely mental health too. I think having more conversations, open conversations with people that are close to me is has been proven super helpful. So yeah, that's all I got. Really curious to see what other people view as friendships. But yeah, thanks.